This episode of the Grand Rising Show was brought to you by Autochthonous Assembly, where the real work gets done. Autochthonous Assembly is a gathering of the minds that do the work. Now, for many of our first-time subscribers and first-time visitors, you may be wondering who Autochthonous Assembly are. You can find this information about our mission statement and our core values on the website at autochthonousassembly.com/about. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising up Indigenous American voices by using genealogy, also known as family history, or your family tree, which is the study of families and the tracing of their lineages and history. Genealogists use oral interviews, historical records, genetic analysis, and other records to obtain information about a family and to demonstrate kinship and pedigrees of its members. Our core values are the foundation of our company, which is essential to our success and serve as a lens through which we evaluate every business decision. Those core values are, but are not limited to, integrity, which is knowing and doing what is right; respect, which is treating others the way you want to be treated; responsibility, which is embracing opportunities to contribute; and servant leadership, which is serving the common good. Now, at Autochthonous Assembly, we have a couple of goals here. And our first goal and foremost of the reason why we do everything that we do is to ensure that we help you do your genealogy and connect back to your tribe and find out where you are from. Everything that we do from the standpoint of the Grand Rising Show and all the information that's posted on the website is dedicated to that one specific purpose, helping you find your genealogy, find your relatives, find your family so that you will know exactly who you are. And if you choose to, tie back into your tribe, whether that tribe is a Native American tribe, an American Indian tribe, whether it's allowing you to determine which house in Africa that you belong to, or what clan of Scandinavia or Europe or France that you belong to. Either way, our goal is to do just that, help you find out who you are so you know exactly where to start. We are not here to tell you who you are, and we're not here to tell you who you are not. We're just here to help you discover your beginnings. Another one of our missions is to help you become financially independent so that you can help your generations for the next 7 generations and be able to put a stable foundation for you and your relatives. And if you should choose to use this information that we provide free of charge to help not only yourself, but your community and your tribe, then we will do everything in our power to make sure that gets done as well. And remember, our goal here is to make sure that we help you get exposed to this information to put you in the best situation possible. So now what I'm going to do now is return it back over to the panel to see if there was anything I missed, and I will go ahead and get set up so we can get ready and get digging into this information. Panel, take it away.
Warning, warning, warning. Hard hats, pickaxe, shovels, boots required.
Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising. Happy Friday. And all the other good stuff. Really, that's what we doing. Already?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You know we made it.
Yeah, we made it.
Peace to the chat.
We made it. It's for Friday. Or the fifth Friday. Or the true Friday. So how's everybody doing? Gabby, no sellout, Bones. How y'all doing?
Grand Rising, I'm doing awesome.
That's what's up.
Yeah, great. Besides YouTube and A throttling, other than that, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I want to say grand rising and peace to the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. We definitely appreciate you. You could have subscribed to anybody's channel and could have been watching anybody's channel, but you chose to watch us, so we don't take that for granted and we don't take it lightly. Just like we don't take for granted the Autochthonous Assembly, silent majority. Because of you, we know how we're affecting the community. We know what things that y'all need as far as genealogy and what's going on and who's doing what. So keep those emails coming, keep subscribing to the forum, and we definitely appreciate you, the silent majority of Autochthonous Assembly. So thank you always. And to the best chat on planet Earth, F, PH, and TH. Definitely appreciate you guys and gals. Ladies and gentlemen, men and women, boys and girls of all ages. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get this roll call out the way. You know. Yeah, go ahead, hit that roll call, man. Go ahead.
I thought Gabby was doing. What you talking about?
Gabby, you doing a roll call?
I got it.
See,
I ain't got it.
Go ahead. What you do?
Man, the first one I can't pronounce. No. Tendaji, Anoki, peace. Grand Rising. Copper Color and Sister. Grand Rising. Gab, Grand Rising, children. Grand Rising. Nature's Void. Peace to you. I was going to say sir, but never mind. Grand Rising. I'm going to keep it gender neutral. Well, no, wait a minute. I don't want to do that either. Golden Moon, a.k.a. KD. Peace, brother. KSR, Grand Rising. No notification, he said, but peace, you here. Liz Robinson, Grand Rising. What happened to you? You're supposed to be up in there first. Original Tiller, Grand Rising. Feathered Dragon, peace, power, and prosperity to you as well. And I believe Deshaun Marshburn, welcome. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Grand Rising. He's got the list. Hold up. Wayne Wisen, everyone, is what he said. Peace. Hold up. How you just got here and you silly? Powhatan 9 Man. Powhatan 9 Man. Peace, Grand Rising. Who else we got? Copper, Chopper, 803. Peace. Bing Rains. Guns and Butter. Peace. Oak Cliff Tiff. Grand Rising, OCO and Cat. Well, yeah, OCO, Grand Rising, peace. And I believe, I keep saying that, P. Parker, Grand Rising. Celestial Love, what's going on? Grand Rising. Enrique, welcome back. I'm glad to see you in the chat.
Welcome back to the chat. That he ain't cheating.
Look. Adam, don't cheat, Adam.
Like, I'll be up here with y'all. Make sure I hear y'all.
Oh, man. Mr. TJ. Peace, Grand Rising.
Ratchet man.
Hyena C, Grand Rising. What's going on? Ohio. Player. PG's and Pope. Grand Rising.
Player.
I believe we have Muskogee. Look, every time I keep saying that, somebody else. Muskogee G. What's going on?
You know he
Grand Rising.
a G.
Muskogee OG. But yeah, that is who we got right now in the chat. Peace to everybody that's not active in the live chat, but still listening. Grand Rising and peace to you too. Teammate?
Really? This is what we doing?
Huh? I'm just handing over the book.
Oh, Hyena C. And for everybody, so let me put this disclaimer out there so no one think I'm disrespecting anybody. If you have the title of chief in your name, out of respect for all the chiefs that were elected and were voted by tribes, I will not call you chief. So it's not out of disrespect for you, it's out of respect for our ancestors. So unless I know that you are a chief of a tribe and you were voted in the way that our ancestors voted in, that is the reason why I do not address you as chief. So it is not by any means a measure of disrespect. It is a matter of respect for our ancestors. So that's the reason why I do what I do. I just want to make sure that people don't look at it that way, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't call somebody a doctor if they weren't a doctor. So that's just me.
That makes sense. I mean, that's why I do it too. I mean,
yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there so nobody think I was trying to slight.
Disrespect that name.
Yeah. So
you're not disinfecting your name now.
Disinfecting? Really? This. Bones. Get them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Shout out Carrie Bay.
Carrie Bay. Exactly. All right. So, y'all ready to hit this clock and get started? I mean, because yesterday we got derailed and handcuffed and hamstrung, so we just gonna go ahead and get right to it. So let's go ahead and hit this clock, and we gonna get in there. Shout out to Tom Jones. It ain't unusual. Anyway.
Bill Pauls is going to say what's up.
All right. Y'all heard it. Grand Rising Antonio, appreciate you for joining the cab or catching the cab. All right, so what did we learn yesterday? Other than the fact that YouTube don't like us.
When you talk about Comcast, expect for your live stream to get tampered with.
Tampered with, interrupted, interfered, just plain no disrespected. Just disrespectful. Just straight up, just don't do it. All right, so we got a guest in this rising. Unmute yourself by hitting *6. *6 to unmute yourself. Just can't come up and be posted up. You gotta speak. You gotta greet us. What's going on, Grand Rising? There you go. Hello.
Caller, are you on the line?
They unmuted themselves, but I don't know if they unmuted their phone. We can't hear you.
Okay, my fault, fellas. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. This is Dane Calloway. How y'all doing?
Oh, what up, Dane? Grand Rising.
Oh, see you, brother. Yeah, I just wanted to contact you and tell you, basically you're doing a good job. Glad you kept it up. I'm subscribed to your channel, and I just noticed that you were live, so I was like, okay, let me see what's going on. But yeah. I'm glad you kept it going, man. I'm glad you kept it going. You didn't stop at all.
I'm glad to hear that. Appreciate it. Just trying to do our part for the people. That's why we know how.
So, okay. That was mainly it, because, I know y'all live. I don't want to, I don't want to interrupt.
All right, well, we definitely appreciate you coming on, giving us that shout out.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we definitely appreciate that, man. It's always good to hear from everybody and hear that we are, what we do is appreciated. I mean, especially with what you do and how you affect people. So thank you.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Keep it up, fellas.
All right then. Okay.
Wado.
All right. All right. That was Mr. Dane Calloway. Appreciate it for coming in and showing that love and appreciation.
Kicking it with the relatives and the rising real quick.
Exactly. So, what did we learn yesterday? Oh yeah, YouTube. We talk about Harriet Tubman. Comcast get mad. YouTube get mad. Everybody get mad. So they'll throttle you. But what I learned yesterday, after we were able to get on after an hour and a half of interruptions, yes, I'm bitter about that, so don't get mad at me, is by the early 1800s, there were three types of Indians that had descended upon Texas. They were your Plains Indians, they were your Mississippian or Alabama from the east, the Plains from the west, and the Mayan culture remnant from the south. Now, we know that the Mayan culture Indians were actually the ancestors of the Mississippian and Alabama Indians. So basically, it was basically everybody coming home. Okay? So that's basically what it boils down to. Everybody was coming back home because everybody's getting ran off by the Europeans, if that makes sense. So that's how we started having these Texas and Mexican insurrections with the Indians and the Europeans, and we also started having these wars. So, you know, that's how that happened. Also, you have, I gotta relearn how to read my handwriting. Oh yeah, the Comanche. They were attacking everybody. Not only were they attacking everybody, they were selling and trading with everybody. So they were actually acting like colonizers, if you think about it. They traded with all the Indians, they traded with all the Europeans, and they were just interacting, but also they were also ransacking and raiding the Indians and the colonies. Grand Rising Doodle Vision. So they were raiding the Europeans and the colonies and the Indians like they were Mongols. And so we know that some of their ancestors were the Mongols or from the Mongol horde. So that was one of the things we learned. And there was also 12 bands of Apache. I found that kind of interesting, that there were 12 bands. We also learned that Steve Austin was responsible for the tension between Mexico and the U.S., leading to the Mexican Revolt and what they deemed was the ending of slavery in Mexico when they turned the slaves, or the definition of slaves, to indentured service. And that caused a problem with the U.S. And then the last thing I learned that I want to discuss before we move forward is Seminole Negro. Really? They Seminole and they Negro? Again, that's like calling somebody a black African American. that's like calling somebody a black African American. It's redundant. It's unnecessary. So, and then we learned that the Seminole were your Buffalo Soldiers that end up policing the plains. So, that's what we learned. That's what I learned. Anybody got anything they want to add to that before we get to fitness? Yes, no, maybe so. Let me see what the chat got to say. Grand Rising Pamela Hall. Hashtag my favorite former name, Pamela Hall. No, nobody. Everybody quiet? Okay. All right then. Swab Theta, what it do? All right. So I'm putting the link in the chat. Don't sell out.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
You gonna read, bro? You not?
Yes, I can for a minute. Not
I'll go ahead and read it.
Oh, okay. Peace to the chat. I'm sorry, my stomach growling louder than I'm talking. Peace to the chat.
Alright, so
I got you after 9:30, bro.
you got me after 9:30. Alright, so I get my 9:30 coffee break. That's what's up. Appreciate you. so I'll be able to
warming up the vocal cords.
So I'll be able to join the non-profit break room and give me some coffee while you reading. Is that what we doing?
Hey, they live in there. Look, they will accept you with open arms. It's all right. A cup of Joe ready for you.
You sure? Because I be getting blamed for cutting the show short. So
look, they still love you, TMH. Come on now.
I don't know, man. They scary. That chat's scary. Why do you think I call the best chat on earth? Because they scary. They don't be playing. They quit school because of recess.
Don't play these games.
Peace,
EJ Coppertone, peace. I think we got everybody recently. Iron Flying Squirrel, Grand Rising, Tom Jones, peace. Dwarf Vader, if we didn't call your name, peace.
You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. No, you good.
We good. We are good. I'm going to mute.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
You ain't right. You ain't even right.
I ain't left either. That's why I'm still here. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to start with the Mexican government negotiated the additional treaties signed in 1826 and 1834. So based off of the timelines, we already know that what was happening in the 1820s, they were just starting to bring over the first iteration of those Germans and those Irish, correct? That were being released from Europe. I said being released. But in each case failed to meet terms of the agreements. Although such events would have proved catastrophic in early years as the Comanche raided towards Mexico City, the presence of American militias obstructed such attacks, thereby encouraging the Mexicans to become dilatory in payments. What does dilatory mean? Anybody know what that means? I'll be looking it up. I think it means delinquent payment, but what would they be making payments on? I don't know. Hold on, let me look that up. I'm sorry, I can't get past this. I gotta look it up. Cause that's a word I ain't never seen before. Look it up. Dilatory. Intended to cause delay. I thought that's what it meant, but I wanted to make sure. All right. The Mexicans to become delinquent or dilatory in payments. Because Comanche raiding was based on taking booty and captives, the proximity of the American communities proved more fruitful to the Comanche raiding. The division says, I am concentration. You know what? I can't. So, here's the thing. The treaties aren't working. They're having problems coming to negotiation and to terms with the negotiation of the treaties. And that's causing the Mexicans to be late with the payments. All right, we're not going to come to an agreement. You ain't getting your money. That's like you go to work. You do your job. They don't give you your money. What you going to do? You ain't going to work. They ain't paying you, right? Same thing. And then the Comanche are raiding like they Vikings, taking booty and captives. Right, because that's what I first heard the term from. When it comes to taking booty and captives, right? Can y'all see Can y'all see my screen? Yeah, okay. It's a lag on my end, so forgive me. Although Texan military forces was much stronger than previous Mexican colonists. The sheer rapidity of advance and large numbers of the raiders overwhelmed many of these early Texan colonization. For in 1826, Comanches had raided and burned Green DeWitt's new town of Gonzales to the ground. Green DeWitt's. Do we want to look that up? Yeah, let's look up Green DeWitt's. See what we got. Green DeWitt's. Antonio, behave, please. Green DeWitt was an impresario in Mexican Texas. He founded the DeWitt Colony. 1822, check the timeline, y'all. 1822, DeWitt petitioned the Mexican government for permission to settle colonists in Texas, but was denied after teaming up with the Stephen F. Austin, an influential Texas impresario. He finally got the petition granted in 1825. He was given permission to settle 400 respectable industrious Catholic families in an area bonded by the Guadalupe, San Marcos, and Lavaca rivers. The colony was southwest of the one founded by Austin. DeWitt hired James Kerr as his surveyor. Remember the surveyors? Remember what they do? Kerr placed a capital called Gonzales after Rafael Gonzales. Provisional governor of Coahuila y Tejas at confluence of the San Marcos and Guadalupe rivers, the first settlers arrived in the summer of 1825. DeWitt visited the colony in October, but spent much of the 1825 in Missouri recruiting settlers. DeWitt was accused of misappropriation of funds in San Antonio, Texas. Stop.
Don't do it! Wait, what?
Exactly. Why this thing is stuck? Stop.
Ain't nobody doing nothing.
No, my what you call him is not acting right. Okay, soundbite. It's malfunction. You know what? Doodle Vision. I would read that, but that's
you
too
seen it at
funny.
the same time I seen it home. I'm not repeating that. No.
Get out my head, Bones. Get out my head.
The listeners want to know what he said. They'll read it like I read it.
That's right. Y'all just read. Yeah, just read what Doodle Vision put. Just read what he put. So I can't. So now we're dealing with surveyors. We're dealing with placing the capital and naming it after people. The colonizers, they're starting to try to colonize Mexico, Texas, and what they're doing is they're displacing some of these people that have come in. I'm gonna guess. This is my guess, but I'm gonna guess that they are misplacing these people or placing these people that they got from Europe, meaning Ireland and Germany, down here that are Catholic because, this is still controlled by Spain. That's my personal opinion. I don't have nothing to, I don't have anything to I don't have anything to prove it yet. But that's what I'm going to guess it is. So, let's see. And then, misappropriation of funds. What does that? You know what? Stop, doo-doo.
I think we had like a couple of cases dealing with that, but that's another story.
Misappropriation of funds. So, misappropriation of funds, and also, it's funny because Brooke County. Remember, because we always talk about Brooke County, right? Or Brooke County. I always kept calling it Brooke County by mistake. It said that family was quite wealthy and they contributed to her husband's endeavor, selling off some of her property in Missouri to help finance his venture. So Sarah DeWitt. So who was her husband? Did I misread that? No, they never mentioned her husband. I haven't mentioned him yet. So all of us, what we're starting to see now is we're gonna call this the fan. Y'all know what that means. Fake Anglo narrative. They're starting to do things here that they're not supposed to be doing. They're starting to mess with people they're not supposed to be messing with. All this because they need to start placing these people somewhere. And so they figure they come down here because there's not that much competition for land, and they have some sort of relationship, and Steve Austin is already here. So I will continue to read. In July 1826, Gonzales was raided by Native Americans looking for horses. Now see, this is the part that I find hard to believe. Being that there were already Indians that were raising horses, why would you come to somebody's place to raid their horses? But anyway, and then again, they did say Native Americans were looking for horses. Most of the settlers fled temporarily to Austin's colony, although the colonization laws specified that settlers should not be established within 10 leagues of the coast. Anybody know how many miles 10 leagues is? Let me know. DeWitt gained permission from the authorities to establish a temporary settlement, which they called Old Station, on Matagorda Bay, near the mouth of the Lavaca River. The settlement was allowed there until enough colonists had arrived to secure their safety. In Gonzales's by October 1826.
A league is 3.4 nautical miles.
Thank you. So by October 1826, 40 people lived in Old Station, including DeWitt and his family. His family there included his wife, 2 sons, and 3 of his 4 daughters. One daughter had already married in Missouri. Doodle Vision says DeWitt equals smart one. Because the Mexican government had made an error in including another colony in the contract grant, DeWitt had numerous disputes with founder Martin de Leon. At one point, DeWitt was arrested by authority of the Mexican government because de Leon claimed that tobacco being shipped into his colony was contraband. Stop. We gotta rewind that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time I'm hearing that tobacco is considered contraband. That's interesting. Y'all don't find that interesting, or is that just me? Maybe I'm just special. Okay, moving on. Austin stepped in and helped reduce tensions, but the damage caused to the relationship of DeWitt and de Leon would never be repaired. After arresting DeWitt, Mexican authorities ordered that Old Station be abandoned and sent the settlers to Gonzales. So they had to be removed from the settlement, and they were sent to somebody else's settlement. So that messed up his income, right? That messed up his trade. That messed up his ability to set up his, his commerce. I guess that's the best way to put it. Interesting. In 1827, DeWitt joined Austin and de Leon in signing a peace treaty with the Karankawan, so that their colonies would be safe from raiding. So let's see who these Karankawan are. And I'll put the link in the chat for further review. Let's see. Grand Rising Frida, and she puts Americans of Mexican descent largely begins after the annexation of parts of Mexico in 1848. The nearly 80,000 individuals then living in the U.S. became full U.S. citizens. Whoa. Interesting. Thank you for that, Frida Renty. We definitely appreciate that. All right, thanks, Gabby. Appreciate it. The Karankawan were Native American people concentrated in southern Texas along the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. They consisted of several independent seasonal nomadic groups who shared the same language and much of the same culture. Always trying to make people nomadic. The tribe included the groups called the Quejanes, the Cocos, the Guapites, the Carapites, the Campanes. Some of the village names survive to modern day and are the Ibahamo, almost sounds like Alabama, right? The Emet, the Kawyam, the Medicoman, the Kara, the Quinet, and the Toyal villages. From the onset of European colonization, the Karankawan were invaded and attacked by the Spanish, French, and English empires, despite initially being generally willing to meet intruders with open attitudes once attacked by the Spanish, who ambushed Karankawan men, women, and children following the establishment of Presidio La Bahia in 1722. The Karankawan felt deeply betrayed and viewed Spanish colonial settlement with hostility. So, hold on. Think about this. You have a group of Indians welcoming you with open arms. And how do you show your appreciation? You attack them. Not only the men, but the men, women, and the children. And then you wonder why you got to sign a peace treaty because they mollywopping you all across Mexico. Can't be coming on people's... Come on, you can't be coming over people's places thinking you just gonna put your hands on people, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Again, you can't be coming to people's house and disrespecting the house. You're gonna get dealt with. 1825, Stephen Austin commissioned a captain to lead volunteers to expel the Karankawan from the Austin land grant. In subsequent years, the Karankawan were repeatedly attacked by Texan colonists, who drove them out of their homeland. By the 1840s, the Karankawan exile split into two groups, one of which settled on the Padre Island, while the other fled into the Mexican state of Tamaulipas. In 1858, Juan Nepomuceno Cortina led a group of Texan colonists against the Karankawans' last refuge and killed the remaining members of the tribe. Come on, man. Stop. Yeah, know it's a bunch of... Come on.
They can't help it.
Come on. How's it on one hand, you can tell me that you don't know how many people died, or you don't know how many people were sick, but then you can tell me on the other hand that you got rid of a whole tribe of Indians? If the tribe split up into two groups, but you only talk about one tribe that you attacked, and you say you got rid of them, then I'm disgusted.
More like got rid of them on paper.
Yeah. And then too, you know me, I'm always quick to speak before I finish reading. Then come to find out something that I should have held my mouth on. Answers a question that I asked.
It makes sense if they said they killed them all. I mean, in elementary school, I remember being told that no Indians existed anymore.
But yet we're still here.
Yeah, I remember the reservations being described as like, you know, maybe 30 people on each reservation.
So, let's see. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. Okay, 1858. Yeah, I already read that. By 1891, the Karankawan, as an organized tribe, were believed to be extinct. Okay, so hold on, wait, stop. Hold on. It says that the Pomsino Cortina led a group of Texan colonists against the Karankawan's last refuge and killed the remaining members of the tribe. Right? That's what they put. They killed the remaining members of the tribe. Now, how is it you then in the very next sentence say the Karankawan as an organized tribe were believed to be extinct? Either you know they are extinct or you don't know they're extinct. Believed to be extinct means you want to say they are, but you don't know. So why don't you just say you don't know?
Sound too much like right. Messes up their story and narrative.
Because here's the thing. If you break up into two groups, that's like breaking up into two tribes, no? Grand Rising,
Yep.
Corey R. So, again, unless this is a mistype, which it could be, but I'm looking at what you write. It says, the Pomosino Cortina led a group of Texan colonists against the Karankawan's last refuge and killed the remaining members of the tribe, meaning one of the two remaining. Right? Because if you split into two groups, you're splitting into two tribes. So if you killed one of the remaining tribes, then that means there's a tribe left. Am I or am I not correct? Let me know.
Sounds like mathematics to me.
I'm either right or I'm not.
No, we don't want to think.
Split it
We want to
into two,
know.
Get rid of one. That's still one.
Okay.
Unless they lied about math to us too.
Is that new math? That's what we doing? Okay.
Oh, like that 1 + 1 actually equals 4?
Yeah, that's what you call
Immediately.
no, I forgot what that type of math is where you include everything. You include the plus sign and you include the equal signs.
Yeah, because the plus sign equals 1, 1.
It equals 2. Yep. And the equal sign equals 2. So, it'll come to me in a second. By 1891, it says the Karankawan as a tribe were believed to be extinct. Then it says historical research of the Karankawan is hindered because of the documents concerning them were overwhelmingly written by open enemies of the tribe. What does that mean? That's right, Frida Renty says paper genocide has been the most effective. The Karankawan's name's origins are disputed. Early speculations centered among the names that other neighboring tribes had for the Karankawan. Karankawan was theorized to originate from the related peoples living nearby who called the dog the term clam or glam, and to love, to like, to be fond of kawa. Thus, Karankawa would mean dog lovers or dog raisers. Meanwhile, the Tankawa called them wrestlers, keles or killis. Due to Karankawa's skill in the art, they alternatively called them the barefooted or those without moccasins, Yakokon Kapai. But this name was also applied to other groups with which the Tankawi were acquainted. So, so the Karankawas was named Karankawas by other tribes. So that's not what they called themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women of all ages, we have a pet name. Karankawa is a pet name. So I will continue to read. The Lipan Apache called the Karankawa the people who walk in the water. Ndikon Dadihe, or Dadihi, possibly referring to their mode of fishing and catching turtles. Notably, the Karankawa called themselves Karankawa as well. Okay. So let me ask you this question. At the beginning of this paragraph, it says the Karankawa's name origins are disputed. So I guess the question is disputed by who? Because at the end of this paragraph, meaning the very end of this paragraph, it says notably, the Karankawa called themselves Karankawa as well. So what's the dispute? And who's disputing it? Either they call themselves Karankawa or somebody else called them Karankawa. What do y'all think? Let speculation place the Karankawa language in the Caribbean linguistic stock. Linguistic data suggests that the Karankawa name originated from the Old Spanish main Calena and the suffix from the Northern Carib tribe Cara, meaning people, and compound emerges. Cara, meaning Kara people. But this theory is disputed, and ultimately the origins of the name Karankawa remain unknown. That's that paragraph. But the paragraph above it says, notably, the Karankawa people themselves call themselves Karankawa as well. So if they call themselves Karankawa as well, wouldn't it originate with them calling themselves Karankawa, or am I just making too much out of this?
That's what I would think.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Is you done? Or is you done?
I am TMH. But I'm done with that. Let's see. Where are we at? I'm trying to find out where the Karankawa is at. We just talked about them. Oh, how did I get scroll all the way down there? Give me a second, peoples. Where am I at? Oh my gosh. I'm doing a no sellout. Do y'all remember where I stopped off at? Because I can't find it.
I can tell you where you were 10 minutes ago.
Wow. Okay, I remember reading that. Wow. I really lost my spot.
You were reading the names, the names.
Oh, okay. You know what? I know why I got stopped. Because I went from DeWitt to Karankawan. Because I was reading about Green DeWitt. That's how we ended up on Karankawan. So that's why I messed up. I done confused myself. So I'm putting this link in there too for further review. But so that's how I went from. So I went. Excuse me. I went from the Texas Indian War to Green DeWitt to the Karankawan. So now I'm back on Green DeWitt because that's who we was talking about. You follow me? You understand? No? Nobody? Anybody? Everybody? Okay, so I'm gonna read this last paragraph about DeWitt, and then we're gonna talk about the Tonkawa people, and then we're gonna go back to the Texas Indian War, because that's how I end up getting sidetracked. So forgive me, please. So it says it says that DeWitt joined Austin de Leon in signing a peace treaty with the Karankawa, so their colonies would be safe from raiding. Each of these colonies had been encroaching on Karankawa territory, particularly along the rivers which they depended on for fishing. DeWitt also negotiated a peace treaty with the Tonkawa, but he was unable to reach terms with the Comanche. As Comanche raids took a toll on the settlement, the political chief in Bexar, northern Texas, sent the settlers of Gonzales a small cannon to use for defense. All right, so let's look at the Tonkawa people. Go ahead, Bones.
They're gonna need more than that little small cannon.
Because you gotta reload it. And if they know where the cannon fire is coming from, all I gotta know is not to be there. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Tonkawa are a Native American tribe indigenous to present-day Texas. They once spoke the now extinct Tonkawa language, a language isolated. Today, many descendants are enrolled in the federally recognized Tonkawa tribe of Indians of Oklahoma. They said everybody in Oklahoma. In the 16th century, the Tonkawa tribe probably had around 1,879. There go that word again, probably. Doodle Vision says Karankawa equals Kalina or Karina, people that came by water. Thank you, Beauty. He says they are Carib, aka Arawak. So now we're talking about the Tonkawa. In the 16th century, the Tonkawa tribe probably had around 1,879 members, with their numbers diminishing to around 1,600 by the late 17th century due to fatalities from new infectious diseases. Here we go.
How do you know? Is there somebody walking around here giving Indian head counts? Oh, I'm just saying.
No, because it's funny, when they want to diminish a population, they give you numbers. When they want to talk to you about how many of them got whooped by the Indians, then they get amnesia. I'm just saying. When it's something that benefits them, they give numbers. When it's something that doesn't benefit them, they go, I don't know. So, most notably the Apache. By 1921, only 34 tribal members remained. Their numbers have since recovered to close to 700 in early 21st century. Most live in Oklahoma. So, how is that possible that you could tell me to a man or woman how many numbers diminished, and now they went from probably 1,879 to only 34 tribal members in 1921? Are those the only ones that came back and registered, or are those the ones that you replaced somewhere?
That's what it seemed like. Moi.
Tonkawa's autonym is Tikwanwatik, meaning real people. The name Tonkawa is derived from the Waco tribal word Kawiya, meaning they all stay together. The Tankawa tribe operates a number of businesses which have an unusual economic impact of over 10,860,657 along the several smoke shops that the tribe runs 3 different casinos: Tankawa Indian Casino, Tankawa Casino, located in Tankawa, Oklahoma, and the Native Lights Casino in Newkirk, Oklahoma. Okay.
I wonder where them 664 new members came from. Let me hush.
Stop it.
Man, I don't know who they playing with here, man. Listen, 10 million a year, and they just miss. Okay, let me hush.
Rolling with Rush. All right, so now we're going back to the Texas Indian War we were talking about. This is weird. Trying to mess up. And let me see. All right. All right, so during the entire period of 1821 to 1835, colonists had difficulty with Comanche raids, despite the formation to full militia ranger companies in 1823. Tankawa and Delaware Indians of the Tankawa and Delaware Indians, enemies of the Comanche, allied with the new immigrants, trying to gain allies themselves against these traditional enemies. The Comanche detested the Tankawa, in particular for allegedly being cannibals. As early as 1823, Austin recognized that the need to have specific forces designated to fight the Plains tribes, especially Comanche. Stop. So, the Comanche allied with the new immigrants. I wonder who they were. Check the year. You'll find out who they were. They allied with the new immigrants, because by this time, you have close to a couple of million. Right? Talk about over 350,000 a year. Multiply that times what? 13 years? That's gonna put you at around what, 4 million? So you got 4 million of people that have moved into their area from 1821 to 1835. I'm just saying.
But you know what's so funny?
What's
if
that?
the Indian numbers were so small as they want you to believe, why do you need to move them out? If there's only 1,000 of them, why do you need to move them? Somebody numbers off.
Somebody numbers way off. Somebody math is really bad. Because if you already got 4 million people that have moved into this area from 1821 to 1835, let's not even say 4 million. Let's just say 1 million. Isn't that more than enough to overpower 1,000 Indians or 2,000 Indians? Think about this. 1 million people, let's just say 250,000 of them are men, right? Along with the army and along with the other Indians, wouldn't that be enough people to get rid of a couple of thousand Indians?
You wouldn't even have to fight them. With that many people, you would just assimilate them out. That's it.
I don't know. Maybe my math off. Maybe I'm special. Maybe I'm slow. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I just know it's crazy. Alright. As early as 1823, Austin recognized the need to have specific forces designated to fighting the Plains tribes, right? So he needed to get some more allies, because obviously the 250,000 men that came with their families was not enough people to influence these Indians to move. He says they did not distinguish between Mexicans and Americans in their raids. Austin created the first militia rangers by hiring 10 men. Stop. He had 10 militiamen in all these tribes, but he couldn't get rid of a couple of hundred Indians. Come on, man.
Way more than a couple of hundred Indians.
Frida says there are 560 tribes today out of thousands of tribes. And then she says Mexicans get citizenship before many Indians. Well, Frida, we can't forget that's over 560 federally recognized. We can't forget the over 1,000 tribes that are state recognized, and then the ones that are just acknowledged. But I understand your point. Tom Jones says there's a lot of human interaction. So you got 10 men hired as militia. I hope they some good sharpshooters.
What, he got the Justice League?
He said they were paid to fight Indians and protect the colonial settlements. Soon the colonists organized additional ranger companies. After the Republic was created, this trend continued. Without the resources for a standing army, Texas created small ranger companies mounted on fast horses to pursue and fight Comanches on their own terms. Where do you think they got the horses from?
Think about it.
Christopher Columbus. Was I right? I was right, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll try again next time.
Grand Rising Alboria. Okay. So I stopped on the fast horses. That tripped me up. Hold on. Did I scroll too far? Yeah. So I finished that part. So now we're on the Fort Parker raid, which is called the Fort Parker Massacre, which basically means they started picking on Indians, and Indians came to Fort Parker and started whooping up on some folks. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. On May 19th, 1836, a huge war party of Comanche, Kiowa, Wichita, and Delaware attacked the colonists' outpost of Fort Parker. Completed in March 1834, it had been regarded by the colonists as a strong point, sufficient to protect them from any Native Americans not observing the peace treaties. Elder John Parker had negotiated with local Indians. Unfortunately for the immigrants, because these Native Americans were subject nations to the Comanche, the tribe did not feel bound to observe the peace. The killing of colonist militia at Fort Park also resulted in the Comanche taking 2 women and 3 children as captives. The Parkers were well known, and the destruction of those of their clan produced shock throughout Texas. So, let me get this right. The Comanche come in, who are known for taking all women, all the food, and all the provisions, because this is what they know for, this is what they do, right? They only take 2 women and 3 children as captives, and these just so happen to be the Parkers. got one word for that. Just one. Only one.
Why you always lying?
Come on, man. You are known for taking the women, the provisions, and everything, but you're gonna come into one of the most strongest forts and only take 2 women and 3 children as captives, and they just so happen to be the Parkers? Grand Rising, James. Through the Vision, aka Choctaw Jimmy. Can you help us make sense of this stuff? Because I'm becoming frustrated, to say the very least.
Just dialing in to say y'all doing a great job. Appreciate all the work y'all doing. Good job.
You're so stupid. Really, dude? This is what you doing? Oh boy. Well, I appreciate you, Choctaw Jimmy. Thank you for looking out. Thanks for giving that shout out. Much needed. Much appreciated.
Y'all do such great work. Good job. My seal of approval. I endorse this message. Just to clear up some things. Anytime you saying all these tribes that they are mentioning, and they say they don't know what happened to them, in your history books, they are now labeled as slaves. They don't tell you how they got here. They don't tell you what plantation they were on. All of these were slaves in Texas with all these wars going on. But all these are slaves. These are Arawaks. And they keep trying to get you off guard that these are Arawaks, aka Caribs. These are the same people. That's why they're mentioning that they're cannibals. They keep mentioning all the time that these people are cannibals. Same distinguishing attributes that they gave the Arawaks, aka the Caribs. Same people that were all throughout the Caribbean. These were curly-haired, frizzy-haired, kinky-haired people that look like the majority of the people on the panel and in the chat. These were the same people. Because if you notice, all this great influx of all these slaves that were in Texas, but how did they get here? How are you establishing stuff when you're fighting Indians all the time? So all of these are Arawaks, and they telling you who they are when they were saying that they called them this, and then they said that they were this. They're telling you, yes, they came by the waters. These are Kalina, the same ones that you'll find, or the Chilena, same folks that came, they were Caribbean, that came from South America. But good job.
Thank you, James. Thank you for clearing that up. So, these Comanche took 2 women and 3 children. They wanted women as a tribute. They're coming to the most heavily fortified fort, which I'm sure has more than 2 women. And the 2 women they just so happen to get happen to be the Parker family. I'm not a fan of this fan. Go ahead, Gabby, you about to say something?
Well, I have a question. You know how they say that we're descendants of slaves and that the last name, the family name that we carry is the slave master's or the white slave master's family name. Mm-hmm. If that were possibly true or not, wouldn't it stand to ask the question, well, if the plantation you're saying that I'm descendant of slaves from, the supposed slave master, if he was a chief taking on an English name, wouldn't that stand to say that what they're saying is the underlying thought is not the plantation you come from, but the chief and the tribe you come from, but the English last name that they took on for that tribe?
Yeah, but I would say on that, them last names are not English last names. And the reason why I say that in my own personal genealogy, when you go back and you do find people that's coming from England and looking at them boat records. The names that we had today, these people wasn't coming over here with them type of names. They were coming over with them German names, Dutch sounding last names, French sounding last names. You look in the timeline, you'll see later on, you'll see these names pop up, but they wasn't coming over here with names as Brown, Smith, Carters.
So wouldn't it stand to take the thought that, okay, if they're saying, okay, so your last name is Brown, so you come from the plantation that was owned by the Browns, wouldn't it be possible to take the same thought, instead of thinking plantation, think tribe?
Yeah, as your last name.
Right. But okay, you know how they say, okay, this area of land right here was owned by the alleged slave master of Brown. That's what we're told, but instead of thinking like that, think, okay, this alleged plantation is actually a portion of land, and instead of thinking slave and slave master, think chief and tribe.
Yeah, you can, especially when you know what plantation actually means. Plantation is just another word for settlement, colony.
Right.
And you got to remember, the last names that we had were not actually surnames. They were actually titles and job descriptions that we held. And they were Europeanized. So whatever your tribe was known for in many cases was eventually what your tribe's last name became.
So like Robinson would be Robin's son, or blacksmith would be actual blacksmith.
Yeah, blacksmith is somebody that does blacksmith work. Or Robin's son could have been son of a Robin. It could have been son of Robin or son of Robin, whatever the Robin was. You know, a lot of some chiefs, some Indians were named after birds, right? So if you were from the Robinson tribe, or you were from the son of Robin, and that family came from Robin, or in my case, son of Harold or Harris, which were a clan. So I mean, again, you have to go back and look at the meanings of those names then, because that's what we have to pay attention to. But I understand your point from the standpoint of them turning chiefs into plantation owners, because on document, those chiefs will end up being the slave masters, and those tribal members end up being the slaves on that land. So yeah, it makes sense.
Somebody asked the question. You have 576 federally recognized tribes. Then there's over 1,000 state recognized tribes. You have over another 1,000 acknowledged tribes.
So hopefully that helps, Gabby. Hopefully I didn't confuse you more.
Oh, no. I was just, yes, it did.
We'll cover it. We'll cover it and get it straightened out later, because James has more information on that, especially our names and stuff. So he'll be able to straighten out what I messed up. Okay, so let's talk about this Parker family, who were so unfortunate to be singled out of the whole fortified fort to be taken by Comanche, who's known for taking all the women, but they decided to just take 2 of the Parker women. Survivors, especially James W. Parker, called the vengeance. He called for vengeance and helped to recover the captives. This event took place near the close of the Texas Revolution, and Texan victory at the Battle of San Jacinto on April 21st, 1836. Most Texans were busy trying to return to what was left of their former homes and dealing with their own losses, as well as skirmishes with the retreating Mexican army. So hold on. You see how they did this? This event took place near the close of the Texas Revolution. So this event was part of the Texas Revolution. There was a battle going on. So the reason why the Comanche was fighting, because they were at war with these people on this fort. but they're trying to make it seem like it's an isolated incident. So then it goes on to say that most were busy trying to return to what was left of their former home. So that means everybody was getting raided. Everybody was being ransacked, just like James W. Parker. But he only wants vengeance for his family. Or am I misinterpreting this? No? Okay. Then it goes on and says, and they were dealing with the losses as well as skirmishes with the retreating Mexican army. So, let's see how this plays out. The Republic of Texas era from 1836 to 1845. So you figure by this time, we're on our what? Second 4 million, 5 million Europeans and coming in to the Americas? No? Maybe? I don't know. Celestial Love says, do you think they gave the immigrants our last names? I know there's a delay, so hopefully we answer that with Gabby's question. If not, another 10 minutes, bring it back up, Celestial Love. So I'm going to read the Republic of Texas era, 1836 through 1845. The Republic of Texas era with the Indians can be divided into 3 phases. The diplomacy of Houston during this first term, the hostility of Lamar, and the resumed diplomatic efforts of Houston's second term. Sam Houston led the Republic to negotiate with the Comanche. They said they would stop raiding if they were given sufficient amounts of what they considered prerequisites for peaceful relations: gifts, trade, and regular face-to-face diplomacy. Wait, what? They wanted peaceful relations. In order to have peaceful relations, they wanted gifts, trade, and regular face-to-face diplomacy. Can somebody help me out with that? What did that mean? They wanted to continue to revisit they were doing what they were supposed to?
I can't see you, I don't trust you.
Okay.
That's not probation.
I know, right? Yes, Frida, there are still thousands of tribes.
Look at who's running these reservations in Oklahoma today.
I got a question.
To face diplomacy.
You're right. Go ahead, Frida. Go ahead, Gabby. I'm looking at Frida's comment.
Expanded on that question. You know how cities have names? When they did the census, like some of the names, how you see last names, surnames tacked onto them, is it possible that they were doing that, adding those surnames based off of the area that it may have been named and having them take on those names?
Give me an example of what you mean.
Like, I live in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And the neighborhood I live in would be called Holiday City. So, or in Holiday City, but say there's someone who owns land there, their surname just happens to be Holiday City, but my family, my tribe doesn't go by a surname. They tack that on and say, this is how we'll reference it going forward.
Well, from what I know and from what's been explained to me, and I could be remembering incorrectly, so James, jump in and correct me at any time, please, sir. Just like you have a place called Alabama. Alabama is named after the Alabama, and as you come further south, they didn't have time to change the name, so they just left the names the way that they were. So the names were named after the names of these areas were actually named after the tribes. Now, what you had happening further up north is you had the surveyors coming in, and while the people were land grabbing and keeping the Indians busy, the surveyors were actually marking the territory and making the names, changing the names right up under these Indians' feet and naming it after whoever was the mayor or whoever was the governor of that area. But as they were in a rush when they went further south, they didn't have time to do that. They just needed to change the name. So that's how a lot of these places
as well too.
Yeah. So if I'm inaccurate with that, please, correct me or set me straight, because that's how I understand it. P. Parkers were keepers of the park. That makes sense. So, the Republic of Texas. Gabby, to answer your question, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just not ask you.
Yeah, I was just thinking that some of these surnames that were adopted may not have been adopted, but maybe they were placed there or told or put there, like this is what you'll reference as. So if someone asks you your name, okay, this will be your name, but you need to use this because this is where you're from and this is the name that we've deemed or marked for this territory, this area.
You got to realize too, remember, during this time, the enumerators are naming these people. The enumerators are doing all of this. So this stuff is happening to these people right up under their feet. So they're not aware of what's going on. Remember, we didn't start having the ability, when I say we, I'm talking about the people. We didn't start having the ability to name ourselves until 1970. We're still in the mid-1800s. So the enumerators are the one that's naming these people. The government is the one that's calling these people these names and titling them this. Just like the Karankawan. There's arguments and debates about how they end up with their name. Some of the Europeans say that the names came from other tribes naming them, and then some Europeans say that they call themselves that. So, quote unquote, they don't know. So that's what they called them. So you have to look at that as well, if that makes sense.
Yep.
All right. So the Republic of Texas era with the Indians can be divided into three phases. The diplomacy of Houston during this first term, the hostility of Lamar, and the resumed diplomatic efforts of Houston's second term. Sam Houston led the Republic to negotiate with the Comanche. They said that they would stop raiding if they would give us sufficient amounts of what they considered prerequisites. So we know they wanted face-to-face diplomacy, trade, and gifts. Houston, who enjoyed a good reputation among Indians, had married a mixed-race woman of Cherokee descent. He had lived in Indian territory for years and learned about their culture. Stop. Come on, man. Come on. It's the same thing that's been happening throughout the territories. They come in, they get to know the culture, they marry one of the women, one of the prominent women, produce a child that's a chief.
Yep.
It's the same story. So they're doing the same thing. So, I'm just saying. Then it says, he was willing to meet with the Comanche on their terms and believed, as a matter of policy, that it was worth it to buy a few $1,000s worth of presents. The Republic could not support the huge cost of the standing army for defense, and it might not be able to defeat the assembled. It might not be able to defeat the assembled might of the entire Comanche-Kiowa alliance, especially if they received Mexican help. Hold on, but I thought they would say that these Indians were either distinct or extinct or died from diseases. Why is it now that they can't stand up to this might because of this alliance? What am I missing?
Because it's the side that they didn't write off on paper, or they did write off on paper and they wasn't going for it.
Well, this is probably the side that I lied with them in fighting the Alabamos. It says Texans were disturbed by accounts of continued captivity of thousands of children and women, especially because of the stories about those rescued or ransomed. there were increased demands for the Republic to retaliate against the Comanche. Under Lamar, the Republic of Texas waged war on the Comanche, invaded Comancheria, burned villages, attacked and destroyed numerous war bands. But the effort bankrupted the fledgling Republic. Stop.
Wait, what?
So, you mean to tell me that you get bankrupt dealing with the Comanche, and now you want to negotiate, but you spent far more money dealing with the Seminoles in Florida before you came to that point. And I'm under the impression, and this is just my personal opinion, the views and opinions of TMH Global, Thomas E. Harrelson Jr. are not those of A2. It is of my opinion that there were way more Seminoles, Alabama, Creek, than there were Plains Indians, especially in that area when the Europeans were fighting. But I'll let them have this. More importantly, although the Texas forces succeeded in rescuing large numbers of hostages, thousands remained in captivity. Houston was elected to his second term in large part because of the failure of Lamar's Indian policies. First Houston's administrations from 1836 to 1838. No sellout. No sellout.
Timelines. No, what is that?
Are you able to read now?
Nope. Just a few more minutes. I will be. I'm listening. I know what I'm doing.
I tell you right now, stuff that I gotta go through. All right. Houston's first presidency was focused on maintaining the Republic of Texas as an independent country. He had no resources to fight a full-scale war against the Plains Indians. Sam Houston has spent much of his childhood with the Cherokee Indians in Tennessee, among them the Cherokee chief, the Bow. So, James, quick question. It said Fort Sam Houston spent his time with the Cherokee Indians in Tennessee. Were these some of those Tennessee Indians that volunteered to help fight the Creek and the Seminoles?
That's why I say again, these are your volunteers. You get the college, the University of Tennessee volunteers. These are volunteers coming from Kentucky and Tennessee under the auspices of being Cherokee. These are Melungeons coming down. That's why I said it was Armageddon. You had those volunteers, and the reason why they started coming to form their own country. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. The Republic of Texas was its own country because they wanted their own land and didn't like the way Andrew Jackson was conducting things. That's why they wanted to separate from the United States or the Union. They wanted their own country. This is the deal of what they are not telling you and don't want to tell you, and saying these tribes they disappeared, we don't know where they went, or they were extinct, or they got sick from new computer virus, so they just disappeared. But they cannot explain how the influx of all of these classified Negroes, slaves, got here to Texas in droves, and you are fighting and have been fighting. So how are you setting up plantations? These were people that were already here. There were ports and docks and everything else that was set up. For example, Waco is on the Brazos River. The Brazos River was one of the docks where the ITSA would drop off supplies and goods and go all the way back. Now I said this was a network using the waterways. But yes, those were the, you're gonna start to see all these people coming from Tennessee and Kentucky. These are the volunteers that signed up. They were not coming on behalf of the United States. They were coming on behalf of starting their own nation. They wanted that to be the Melungeon Nation. I yield the mic.
And James said something that reminded me of something. You remember how they was telling us the Seminoles had slaves, Seminole freedmen? There's a problem with that. If you knew running down to Florida, Seminoles was gonna make you a slave, why would you go south?
That's why I'm sorry. That's why Harriet Tubman had him going north to escape the Seminoles.
Think about it. Why would you be going south or going into Texas if they're taking slaves there?
Man, don't get me sidelined. I don't know.
And at the same time, old Marvel superhero Harriet is freeing people in the North with her mystical superpowers.
Bruh, look. I don't like my comic books mixed with history, or my story. So, so you can unmix Jean Grey and Harriet Tubman. So that's just my thought. So James, you had stated that the Mexicans had invited Indians back home. Is it safe to say there was only a set of Indians that they were invited home, and the other set just thought they was gonna come over there and take over? Am I looking at this right? Because you had mentioned that the Melungeons were also attacking the Alabama, the Uli, and the Mayans, or the Aztecs that were already there, right?
Correct. The other set, like I said again, are your Plains Indians that were not invited, that they had pushed out of Mexico some centuries before. This is where the conflict started. You had your those that were classified as your Aztecs, which were your last division that fell under the Olmec or the Uli. But then there were those that came from Asia that had the same blood as those that went over there. Like I said, that's gonna be a whole nother series for another time. But there were some that came back with those, and so that caused the problem. And they were pushing them into what was called dead man's land or no man's land, going up into New Mexico, Arizona, Wyoming, where nothing grows. So they pushed them up there. So now you have the Comanche, the Arapaho, the Apache all coming back into this area because they know about the wars that are going on. And so now they're saying that these people that were in Mexico, originally the people, again, coming from the curly hair, the frizzy hair, the kinky hair people, the she people, now is the time to strike. So they were not allowed to come in. The Comanche and all these Plain Indians were not allowed to come back. That's why we call them the raw meat eaters, because they didn't cook their meat. They just, if a horse was on the side of the road, they kill it, gut it, and eat the guts and keep it moving. So it was the battle between those people, which are your Melungeons that everyone loves to say are Native Americans, because they are Native Americans, and those of us that are truly Indians. He was only inviting back, and even before then, they had been inviting back. They were only inviting back the people that looked like the majority of the people on this panel and in this chat. Two different groups of people being classified as Indians at that time. But those plain Indians, they were a separate group from us. I hope I answered your question.
You did. Thank you for clarifying that, because I thought that's what was happening, but I just wanted to make sure. So these Comanche, the Apache, they were the ones, they saw the opportunity of what was going on. They thought they was just going to be able to take advantage of it and fight with the Europeans and then eventually get their own country in Texas. And they ended up getting double crossed. That's what it sounds like.
Yep, that's exactly what happened, because they're saying, okay, if you guys help us fight off all of these other Indians, then you'll get your own land. Because again, you go out that way, and people may see it now because of the way they've done the pipelines, the water lines now, that you may see signs of civilization. But that area, in what we know as North America, that was no man's land. Nothing grew out there. It grew millennia ago. As you can tell, there was water there and all the rest of that. The vegetation was there, but it is no more. So they didn't have any food. They didn't have any. Just like those that are out there on those reservations in that area today, they don't have anything. It's just tumbleweeds and jackrabbits. That's it. So they needed to come back onto fertile ground, onto this black soil. So you had these battles going on between us and them, and then here come the volunteers, aka the Melungeons, aka the Cherokee. And so the deal was with face-to-face diplomatic negotiations. This is where you get your tribes in Oklahoma. They took our names and said, and doing these DBAs, and now they're saying, hey, I'm Creek, hey, I'm Choctaw, hey, I'm Chickasaw. But these are a blend of these $5 Indians and these plain Native Americans. Same folk. That was the deal that they made in order to stop fighting. But we kept fighting, and we got labeled as slaves. But no one can explain how we got here. But when you talk to the people of that territory, and they keep talking, I still have folk in Fayette, Texas, still have folk in Calvert, Texas, still have folk in Waco, and they will all tell you the same thing. While they're sitting out there chewing on some red clay, you go to the red top, they call it the red top, chewing on some red clay, and they will tell you, baby, we've always been here. Never went anywhere. I yield the mic.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So, it says, Chief the Bowl. So let's see who this Chief the Bowl is.
What you said? The Chief can bowl. That's what's up.
His name is The Bowl. THE space BOWL. Cherokee Chief.
That sounded like Debo.
Debo coming?
No, not Debo.
He knows Debo.
Taking me Tim Tebow.
Taking me Tebow?
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't want to think. We want to know.
Like I was saying.
He was like the cousin of Bowleg.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, the Bowl, also Chief Bowls, Cherokee is Diwali, circa 1765 through July 16, 1839, was one of the leaders of the Chickamauga Cherokee during the Cherokee-American Wars, served as principal chief of the Cherokee Nation West, and was leader of the Texas Cherokees. Diwali was born around 1765 in Little Hiwassee, a Cherokee town in current-day North Carolina. His mother was Cherokee and his father was a Scottish trader. What was the name of the first Cherokee chief? John what? Anybody remember?
Anybody?
Bones no. He'll tell us when he gets a chance. But this sounds like the same person. His mother was Cherokee and his father was a Scottish trader. Emmett Starr, an early historian of the Cherokee, describes Bowles as being decidedly Gaelic in appearance, having light eyes, red hair, and somewhat freckled. Stop. Do y'all know what that means, being Gaelic in appearance?
Scottish?
Yep.
Irish?
Yeah, basically trying to say he look like a white boy. Having light eyes and red hair. Scottish, Irish. So he looked like an Irish white boy.
They stopped just short of saying he had on a kilt and bagpipes.
Diwali was a follower of Dragging Canoe. Y'all remember Dragging Canoe, don't y'all? One of the founders of the Chickamauga Cherokee who said, well, hold on. Dragging Canoe was not a Cherokee.
Later on. Remember, Cherokee is just a mixture of a whole bunch of different clans and tribes up under one name.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. Who supported the British during the American Revolutionary War, and Diwali fought under Dragging Canoe and John Watts during the Cherokee-American Wars during this time. Diwali had attained the chief of the running water town, present-day Muscle Shoals, Alabama. After the destruction of the Chickamauga settlements by the Americans in 1794, Diwali returned to the Little Hiwassee. In order to enjoy better hunting grounds and escape the presence of growing white settlements in the southern states, Diwali led the first large Cherokee immigration west across the Mississippi River in 1809. Wait a minute. This must be another Cherokee tribe that they're talking about. Where he and his followers settled in the St. Francis River Valley near present-day New Madrid, Missouri. When the government was organized the next year, he was elected the first principal chief of the Cherokee Nation West. Now, y'all remember what a principal chief is, right? A principal chief is not just a regular chief. He is a chief over many tribes. And some of those tribes are not local. Some of those tribes are overseas. Like an emperor. Just so you know. Because his father was what? Scottish, right? Where we at? When the government was organized the next year, he was elected the first principal chief of the Cherokee Nation West. In 1812 through 13, Diwali moved his people south into the Arkansas Territory near present-day Conway, Arkansas. Diwali was succeeded as the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation West in 1813 by Degadoga. Responding to the increased white settlers in the Arkansas Territory, Diwali led 60 Cherokee families into Spanish Texas in the winter of 1819 through 1820. So y'all know where those white settlers that came from, they came to Arkansas, right? Because what year are we in? 1819, 1820. That's when they first started bringing those settlers, all right? 1820? Selling for 2 years in northeast Texas along the Red River. The community elected Diwali as the head chief, the Ugu. Fleeing the influx of white settlers into the Red River area, Diwali moved his community into the forks of the Trinity River near present-day Dallas, and the following year into a region 50 miles north of Nacogdoches. At this time, Richard Fields succeeded Diwali as the leader of the Cherokee and their associated bands. After entering into an agreement with Jose Felix Palacios, the governor of the province of Texas, for peaceful possession of lands in East Texas on November 8, 1822. Fields and Diwali then traveled to Mexico City in the early 1823, petitioning and winning the consent of the First Mexican Empire to settle there. In this 1898 essay, the Cherokee Nation of Indians, V.O. King reports, and I will let me answer this doorbell, and then I'll continue reading. No sellout. Are you able to continue reading now?
Yes, I am.
You sure?
No.
I got a question.
What's your question?
That link in the chat.
What's your question, Gabby?
Oh, the link in the chat. Okay.
We
already read it. But where it describes Emmett Starr, I reread what. Okay, so basically it says he was a historian of the Cherokee, and it was decided. Okay, it's saying he was how. Okay. When they're describing him as a historian of the Cherokee, like he was doing the research but wasn't a part of them, or was a part of them and collecting, information to be preserved.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back because I'm thinking that I ran the sentences together, and what you heard was not what was read. So give me a second. Trying to find out where that area was.
The part where it says Diwali was born around 1765 in Little Hawassi, a Cherokee.
Yeah, so Emmett Starr, who is an early historian of the Cherokee. So he's an early historian of the Cherokee. So he's somebody basically saying that somebody that studied the history of the Cherokee. This could be insinuating that this individual is somebody that's talking about them after the time of their existence.
Okay.
Because it says Emmett Starr, an early historian of the Cherokee, but they don't say when he was an early historian of the Cherokee. It just says he describes Bowles as being decidedly Gaelic in appearance, having light eyes, red hair, and somewhat freckled. So this historian who studied the history of the Cherokee, meaning that history being past tense, so this happened after he started to study. So it's not saying that he was wasn't writing this stuff down as he was going through it, because then he wouldn't be considered a historian. He would be considered somebody that's chronicling the events. A historian is somebody that studies something that has already passed, if I'm understanding that correct.
Correct.
Right, so a historian is somebody that studies history after the fact. So they're citing him as a source, if that makes sense. They're just not telling you that they're citing him as a source.
So that means that he had pictures or had met, like the description that he gave was because after the events he was able to meet afterwards and describe.
That I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that I don't know. Now, hopefully, the sources down below will be able to give you some information on that. But that's a good pickup. That's a good question. So, appreciate you. So, Nocella, are you able to read? In 1822, the convention was made between the Cherokees and the Empire of Mexico. Wait, what?
I said I clicked the link you posted. It took me somewhere I didn't want to go.
I cannot hear you because all that background, whatever that is hanging from you.
I think it might have been my headphones, sir. Mic check.
Yeah, I got you. I put the link in the chat.
Yeah, I clicked it. You put the right link in the chat?
Yeah, I put the link what I'm reading from. Hold on, no. Because I'm reading the Bold Cherokee Chief. So let me read this, and then you can go back and read Texas Indian Wars. So yeah, I'm reading about the chief. So after I get done, then you can read from the Texas Indian Wars. My bad.
Gotcha.
All right. So in 1822, a convention was made between the Cherokees and the Empire of Mexico, by which the Indians were permitted to occupy and cultivate certain lands in eastern Texas in consideration of fealty and services in the case of war. Neither the empire, however, nor its successor, the Republic of Mexico, will consent to part with their sovereignty in the soil, and persistently refuse any other rights than those of domicile and tillage. Then it goes on to read, enforcement of the agreement with Mexico was difficult, and on April 15, 1825, a white immigrant, Benjamin Edwards, was given a grant by Mexican government to settle in Cherokee lands in East Texas. Hold on. An immigrant. That means somebody that wasn't born here. Was given grant by Mexican government to settle in Cherokee lands in East Texas. Why would you do that if you're not trying to start something? The dissatisfaction with the Mexican authorities found an outlet when a number of aggravated whites settled in nearby Nacogdoches revolted against the Mexican government in what became known as the Fredonian Rebellion. While Fields was war chief and John Dunn Hunter, the civil chief, opened negotiations with the Fredonian leaders, Diwali urged the Cherokee not to cooperate in the rebellion. He believed that the loyalty to Mexico would lead to enforcement of the 1822 treaty and the recognition of Cherokee lands, which basically means he understood that treaty and probably helped write it. Diwali was convincing, and the Cherokee remained loyal to Mexico during the rebellion. Fields and Hunter were executed by the Mexican government for the support of the Fredonian Rebellion on May 8, 1827, and Diwali succeeded Fields as war chief. So now we know who Diwali is. The Bowl and Chief Bowles. Alright. So we'll put this link in the chat. Alright.
Mic check.
Yeah, I got you.
Where we at?
Sam Houston has spent much of his childhood with the Cherokee Indian ascendancy among the Cherokee chief, the Bowl. And then you can go and read from there, which is under the first Houston administration, 1836 to 38, second paragraph, second sentence.
Chief Bowles. Mic check.
Yep, we got you.
Chief Bowles was also known as Diwali or Diwali, meaning bold hunter. Bowles later led a group of Cherokee who migrated into Texas, trying to escape from Indian removal out of the southeast United States.
You can keep going.
Houston supported the quote-unquote solemn declaration, which gave the Cherokee rights to the land in Texas on which they lived. He negotiated a treaty with the Cherokee and other tribes on February 23rd, 1836, in Chief General Bowles' village. It was the first treaty made by the Republic of Texas. Sam Houston and John Forbes signed for the Texas government, and Chief Bowles, Big Mush, Samuel Benge, Osuda, Corntassel, The Egg, John Bowles, the chief's son, and Tenuta signed for the Cherokee and allied tribes, including Shawnee, Delaware, Kickapoo, Quapaw, Biloxi, Eone, Alabama, Coushatta, Caddo of Natchez, Tahoe, Kulaki, and Mataquo.
Stop for a second. Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Hold on.
I need to readjust my mouth.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to set you up like that with all them names. I ain't know them names was coming. But hold on, y'all. Check this out. Check this out. Hey, stop it.
I heard you practicing in the background.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Come on, man. You know how we do nicknames, right? What other people call somebody named Big Mush? Stop playing.
Big Mush.
Don't nobody do that but us. Don't play.
Walk around.
Go ahead.
Handprint on your face.
Go ahead, Gabby. What you got?
Oh, I was saying like mush mouth.
Yeah, Big Mush. They call like Big Meech, Big Mush. Come on, man. Who do that? We do that.
Now that must have been Debo.
Exactly.
I mean, that just sounds like some stuff that we do. I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. So where'd you stop off?
The areas.
The areas. Where that at?
Mataquo, Tahoe Kulaki.
Okay, I got you.
Reading backwards. The areas granted in the treaty included present-day Smith and Cherokee counties and parts of Van Zant, Rusk, and Gregg counties. The treaty stated that these lands could not be sold or leased to anyone who was not a member of the tribe, including Texas citizens. After the signing of this treaty, Sam Houston presented Chief Bowles with a sword, a red silk vest, and a sash.
So sound like Chief Bowles is a sellout, huh? No, I'm just playing.
One of Houston's first acts as president of the Republic was to send the treaty to be ratified by the Texas Senate. After the treaty stalled in the Senate for a year, lawmakers decided that it would be detrimental to the citizens of Texas, reportedly because settler David G. Burnett had already been granted a tract of land within what were defined as Cherokee treaty land.
Stop. Come.
Counting them chickens before they hatch.
Come on, man. You stalled it for a year, and all of a sudden, there's a promise that was made. See how they be doing, man? I'm just saying.
I think we're forgetting something, too.
What's up? What we got? What we getting?
He received a sash.
You're gonna see why this led to the Texas-Mexican War. Whose land was that? They making all these land deals, but whose land was that? That was Caddo land. They doing all this on Caddo land.
Whoa. That's right, because Nacogdoches. Whoa, man. Yeah, that's
everything east of the Trinity River was Caddo land. Everything west of the Trinity River was Washita or Wichita land.
So they're doing the same thing they was doing up north, selling land and ain't theirs.
Exactly.
Then the post sellers get the land and then they get mollywopped and then they got to call in the cavalry or the military to save them. Go ahead, Bones.
Notice what tribe is always in the middle of all these funny deals. You notice it's always the Cherokee so far? People who later on became parts of Cherokee are leaders of the Cherokee.
So they were the doing business as Cherokee who were nothing more than your Melungeons and white folk. Imposters.
Yeah, because your boy Sam Houston, it already said that he was living amongst the Cherokee, that he was given the name That's So Raven. Come on, son. He's the Raven. Who adopts you in, right, to be part of a tribe, and then you fighting fellow Indians? It doesn't make sense. These are Melungeons saying they Cherokee. And how you know? You follow the trail of the Baptists. These Melungeons were Baptists. Andrew Jackson, Baptist. Look at all this stuff that's going on. How all these people that are now in play supported Sam Houston, Davy Crockett, all these people coming from Kentucky and Tennessee supported Andrew Jackson during the wars, during the Cherokee Wars, Muskogee Wars, with the Alabama Wars, which they try to distinguish between the Creek and the Seminole, which is still a continuation of the same war. All these people were Andrew Jackson's little flunk boys, all of them. And that's what they were doing under the auspices of now, since I run this territory, I am now Creek. I am now Seminole. So I'm going to take these names. I'm Choctaw. I'm Chickasaw. I'm taking these names, and I'm taking more land. Still gets back to when you are going and checking the records of Manifest Destiny. It is still the same thing. They feel like it is their destiny, but they're making all of these deals on Caddo land, on Natchez land.
It's crazy. Wow. Thieves, I tell you. Thieves.
Because if you notice, initially, they went down to Mexico to ask permission. And then after that, you let a cousin spend the night. Next thing you know, they done moved all their stuff in, moved all their kids in, and 6 months later, like, hey, man, it's supposed to be one night. You still here? And you done moved everybody in, and you eating up all my food, and you got your girlfriend sleeping on the couch. Come on, son.
They waiting on that FEMA check. You know, it's such true when I give a FEMA check.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, But James, you're right. I mean, they took the land, took the name right from up under us. We almost helped them. Okay. Where were you at? No sellout. Oh, next paragraph. One of Houston's first acts as presidents. Hold on. No. Nope. Oh. Where it says the treaty was declared null and void. That's where we start.
Yes. The treaty was declared null and void on December 26, 1837. Throughout his presidency, Houston tried to restore the provisions of the treaty and asked General Thomas J. Rusk, commander of the Texas militia, to delineate the boundary. He was unsuccessful in this effort, and Houston could take no more action on the matter before his presidency ended. During Houston's presidency, the Texas Rangers fought for the Battle of Stone Houses against the Kichai on November 10th, 1837.
Stop.
They were outnumbered and defeated.
The Battle of what houses? Battle of what houses?
Battle of Stone Houses. Against the Kichai or the Kichi.
That would be you, Nat G's. Who built these fortified houses? Who built the fortified houses again?
I think it was a civil engineer.
Tell you who they fight.
Natchez. The Quiche Indians. So I'm gonna put them going to this link. Let's see what we can gather from this.
They're descendants of Wichita and other surrounding tribes of the area.
So the Battle of Stonehouse was a skirmish. Listen to that. A skirmish between Texas Rangers and a band of Quiche Indians, which took place on November 10th, 1837. The skirmish, which took place 10 miles south of what is now Windhorse, Texas, was named for 3 stone mounds near the battlefield, which appeared to the Indians to be small houses. What?
Man, you know that's nonsense.
Yeah.
And they what kind of Indian at the Quiche?
Quiche.
The Quiche. Those are your Quiche Mayan. Come on, son. They keep playing games. Why would you name something and talking about look like stone houses when you were Indians that knew the land? These were fortified cities, fortified places, fortified houses that later became known as missions. When you go all throughout that area of Texas, you're going to find these missions, and they say, oh, the Spanish built this. The Spanish didn't build squat. As we finding out, the Spanish wasn't even over here like that. Case in point, the Seminole Wars. The Spanish, they had it on paper. They owned the land on paper. The Spanish were not over here like that. They were not building these missions and these forts. It was the Natchez that were building them.
So, background: the group of Quiche raided Fort Smith, Texas, on the Little River sometime early in October 1837. On the 13th, a company of Texas Rangers led by Captain William Eastland pursued them up the Colorado River. However, the Rangers soon lost the trail. Captain Eastland then began quarreling with Lieutenant A.B. Van Bithausen, and as a result, the company separated. Van Bithausen took 17 men north with him and located the Indians' trail. On November 1st, they then continued north to Brazos River. On November 3rd, near what was to become Fort Belknap, the Rangers found a band of Cherokee and Delawares being led by the Quiche guide, who was immediately killed. The others were spared when they claimed to be friends of all Texans and enemies of the Comanche. Do you want me to read read about the skirmish, James?
Yes, sir. You notice how they try to soften this up, and it's called a skirmish.
I know, right?
It's not a major battle. It's just a skirmish.
It's a skirmish. There's a butt whipping. And November 10th, you know what you say? No, shut up.
Nothing. I was just saying I got a scrape. Got a couple of scrapes from that skirmish. Mm-hmm. Nah, man.
On November 10th, the Rangers encountered the Quiches, who had stopped fleeing and were primed instead for an attack. It is said that some of the Cherokee and Delawares who were present attempted to mediate peace, but one of the Rangers, Felix McCluskey, attacked and killed an Indian. McCluskey was immediately reprimanded and replied that he would kill any Indian for a plug of tobacco. He then proceeded to show one which he had taken from the dead man. This infuriated the Indians who attacked him. The Rangers abandoned their horses and ran to a shallow ravine where they sought protection. Oh, you talked all that smack and then you gonna run, huh? The Quiches lost their leader in their first attack but retired to elect a new one and soon took up the battle again. Fighting, often at close quarters, continued for 2 hours, after which the Quiches decided to set the prairie on fire, thus smoke out the Rangers. The Rangers charged through the smoke and Indians escaped into the woods nearby. 4 died in battle before the fire. 6 more were killed while fleeing. The 8 that survived arrived at the settlement on the Sabine River on November 27, having lost all their horses and equipment. They had walked the entire way. The site of the skirmishes, stone houses, received an historic marker in 1970. Hold on.
I got.
Go ahead. What you got? Gabby?
Well, I got two questions. First question is, if I heard you correctly, who abandoned their horses and ran?
The Rangers.
I got and I may not know. I could be wrong in my thinking. Are horses faster than our legs?
They are.
So, if they abandoned their horses that run faster than them and ran and got caught.
So this is what happened. We gotta read the story for what it really says.
Okay.
This dude Felix McCluskey was talking smack. Okay. Right? And so think about it, says this infuriated the Indians who attacked him. So he was talking to the Indians when he made the statement.
Basically killed the Indian, took the tobacco off of him, was bragging what he was going to do to the next Indian.
So then the Indians bum rushed him. The Rangers abandoned their horses, because you got to think about it. If you're up on somebody, you ain't got time to get on your horse if I'm bum rushing you.
Okay. Even if you're on your horse, a horse is no good at close range. If I'm on foot up on you and you on horseback, you got a problem. I can maneuver a lot better and a lot quicker than you can.
So, and that means because think about it, they must have been trapped in between the Indians and the ravine. So those horses probably wasn't going to be beneficial for them to ride through the ravine. They would have had to walk their horses through the ravine. So they just had to abandon the horses and run them through the ravine where they sought protection. So they sought protection. So you think about this, the ravine, probably on the other side of the ravine was what? For forest. So they were hiding. So what the Quiches did, they retired, came back, and then they burned the daggone fields. And then this is where the romanticized version of the story happens. They burned the fields, knowing that, think about this. You burn the fields knowing that there's only one way to come out. So when these white men come out,
bang bang.
Now you chasing the Indians who put the field on fire to smoke you out, and then they run away. Come on, son. As James would say.
No, the Indians ran away chasing these Europeans out of there.
Exactly.
So football plays reenactments of battles?
It could be.
Think about that with using scrimmage.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, Choctaw Jimmy makes reference to football teams all the time.
Take away all the flashy positions in football. Football is won well on the line.
In the trenches.
Yeah.
Frida Rente said, the Natchez, the OG Cherokee.
The OG Cherokee. No, the Natchez are not the OG Cherokee. The Natchez they're the like Choctaw Timmy always says, they're the original. They're the original engineers. They're the one that built the roads and they built the pyramids. They're also the descendants of the Mayans and the Aztecs that built those mountains and pyramids in Mesoamerica.
Remember this, relatives. The first chief of the Cherokees was John Ross. And John Ross was born in 1791.
Ross.
Let me pep on my wings.
To deserve this?
Oh. Let me pep.
Big Meech.
No, it's Big Mush.
Big Mush.
I think I'm Big Mush.
Oh.
Push me over.
You're right, P. Parker. They took their horses. That's why they had to walk home. So they had to create a story of what happened to them.
They pulled a red. That's what it was. Like it's both ours. Just keep it down to my house. But
yeah.
No.
This is what we're gonna tell them when we get there. You think we?
They played. That ain't my horse. I don't know what you're talking about. Didn't even look back. They were like, forget them horses.
Exactly.
Now think about this. You can tell whatever story you want to tell, but you're not bringing back no dead bodies. So you can say you kill how many people, right? You can say that, right? You can say how many died, because you're not bringing back no bodies with you, right?
Yep.
The only thing that you can say for sure is how many which you died, but you're not gonna sit there. You can sit there and say, yeah, we killed like 12 of them.
All you need to know from the story, which side is walking on foot right now.
Bingo.
What set the Indians off with that is tobacco is not where you think of somebody just hanging out and, you know, selling loosies or whatever. Tobacco is sacred. So when we sat down and smoked tobacco, it was ceremonial. You wasn't just hanging out on the block, you know, somebody on the corner just lighting one up. It was ceremonial because the peace pipes were also your hatchets. So on one side you had the sharp part of the axe, and when you turned it upside down, it was what held the tobacco in for the peace pipe. They were one and the same.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when he took the tobacco, that was a declaration of war. That's why they put those hands of death on him.
You know what we reading? We reading I Wish You Would. The first recorded case of I Wish You Would.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you would get down there and get that.
That's exactly what it is.
Beat him like he stole it and made him put it back right on the shelf that he took it from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you gonna take the axe, we gonna take your horses.
They had to take the horses. Man, that's the type of whooping I bet you they gave them horses. I'm sorry. Just
you can take
Please,
my boots.
You can
take my boots.
That was a Debo moment.
Mm-hmm.
I let him borrow it. I let him borrow the horses.
That was a DMX skit.
I just can't get them back though, but I let them borrow.
Just till they get on their feet.
Dun. As Bones would say. All right, where we at? We're back on the Texas Indian War. Oh, Battle of Stonehouse. So, go ahead and read that last paragraph, no sellout, about the Indian problems at the first Houston administration. Beside the picture.
I was on the Kichi people. So, in the Battle of Stonehouses, hold on. I keep clicking links, man. Hold on.
I told you stop clicking links, man.
I'll be going on journeys with you, man. You ain't gonna be leaving me behind. Hold on.
Release.
Indian problems. What'd you say, Bones?
Release the clicker. Just release the clicker. It's okay.
Let it go.
Nope.
I'll tell you.
I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
You need to stop coming over here. We live rough. We live rough, I'm telling you. Okay, so the Indian problems of the first Houston.
Africa ain't one.
Oh man, $500,000 for bail because you're African. So the Indian problems of the first Houston administration were symbolized by the Cordova Rebellion. Evidence existed that a widespread conspiracy of Cherokee Indians and Mexicans had united to rebel against the new Republic of Texas and rejoin Mexico. Houston refused to believe that his friends among the Cherokee were involved and refused to order them arrested. He used them to neutralize the anti-Texans among the group, identifying the Mexican network and having its members killed. The Cordova Rebellion was an example of Houston's ability to quash it without much bloodshed or wide unrest. When Houston left office, the Texans were at peace with the Indians, but many captives were still held by the tribe's bands.
Wow. That's crazy, right? So what we're gonna cover Monday is the Cordova Rebellion, and then we're gonna go on to the next paragraph. Yeah, it's Friday, and we're gonna end on a good note. Frida says, I get that the Mayans were in Georgia, but what are we officially supposed to write in place of Cherokee since it's a hybrid? Frida, are you trying to figure out who the original Cherokee were? Because there was a tribe called the Cherokee, Cheroki, but I don't know if that was a name that they called themselves or the name that somebody else called them. And at the end of the day, the Cherokee took on a lot of different tribes. So the goal is to go back as far as you can to your original tribe. You don't want to stop at Cherokee. You want to get back to the tribe that the Cherokee took on or brought in under their umbrella, because that will put you where your people are from, if that makes sense.
What later on became the start of the Cherokee goes back to 7 bands. And it wasn't considered Cherokee. It's just 7 different bands. Like I said, the title Cherokee didn't come until John Ross, and that's way after the early 1800s.
So is that why that when the title Cherokee was came about and bringing other tribes under that name, is that why they didn't want the other tribes to speak their own native tongue that was within their tribe?
Well, you got a lot of Cherokees that still do speak their native clan languages. That's why when you see Cherokee, it'd be such and such Cherokee, or this Cherokee, or this Cherokee. Some of the groups still hold on to their actual clan names. Some of them. But you have to do the research and the genealogy to find out what they type of.
Right. So the goal is to get back to your original tribe and your original tribal names, because that will start to answer a lot of questions. And what you'll find is that many of the southeastern tribes, the Alabama, the Uli, they go back to the Mayan culture. So hopefully that helps, Frida. All right. So we're going to end this on a good note. The only thing that we had to deal with today was some delays, but we can, we can deal with that. So Bones, before we let these people get out and we do this, we do our usual salutations. Can you let people know what to expect on this weekend and what we're going to be doing, what our goal is for this Monday coming up? Hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot.
No problem. Relatives, basically this weekend, we're going to be running tests on the website to start switching everything over to broadcast directly from the Autonomous Assembly website. So moving forward, we won't have no more complications of people trying to throttle the stream down, set new standards to limit what we can talk about and what we can display. So over this weekend, you'll probably get some emails or notifications. That's just testing a new notification system on the show for the website. And who knows, we probably come up with a special build this weekend. You never know.
Yeah. So just stay tuned, and we appreciate your patience. And just know that it's going to be, it's going to require patience. So everything's not going to be up and running and moving as smoothly as you want it or like it. But at the end of the day, we got to start somewhere, and now is the best time to start. And, that's where we're going to go. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start doing our salutations and let y'all good people do what y'all do best, which is take care of y'all communities, take care of y'all relatives, and continue to find out who you are. Gabby, anything you want to say to the people before they head on out this weekend?
Peace and blessings to everyone, to the panel, to the chat, to everyone. Questions and information, everything. It is the best thing every rising and each day to expand on all the knowledge and receive help with figuring this out. So peace and blessings and love.
All right. So we just had somebody come in, sneak in on the back end. Hold on. No, never mind. Hold on. Yeah. You got a guest that just came in. Hit *6 and tell us who you are and where you calling from.
What's going on? What's going on, TMA? This Moon.
What's going on, Moon? Bad Moon Rising. What it do, bro?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Moon. Hey, how you doing, Bones? No sellout.
Grand Rising, Golden Moon. Peace.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I got one thing to say.
What's up?
Several things to say. Say, TMA, who you make mad?
What you mean who I make mad? What you mean what I do?
I mean, what the cab do to these dudes around here?
Bro, look. Look, man. All I do is read. That's all I do is read. That's all I'm doing, bro.
And apparently they lie, because we just know all I do is read.
Shut up.
I remember there was a time at 9:30 when somebody had the mic hot.
Bang, bang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you know, I asked yesterday that I wanted to contact you yesterday. As soon as I did that, I got some kind of posted up on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knows my background, nor do you know my cousin. So
right.
it's somebody in this chat. I'm talking directly to you in this chat, whoever you are. We traced the line that y'all use, the landline that y'all use, and it went to a dead end. That's slick. That was cute. But yeah, I mean, y'all mad because A2 is helping the community out, and I mean, we over here being blessed. That what y'all mad about? Yeah, so I actually asked you to contact me for a reason. I even forget the reason. Because one of my IT people traced that line back. So y'all ain't the only one that got tricks up y'all sleeve. And I like to shout out to Oak Cliff. We talked with yesterday.
That's what's
Ohio
up.
Player, what's up? What's up? We doing some new business and ventures around here. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, what are we doing to make these other people mad? They coming on this chat and they acting like they friends. So if I play you short, that's because I really don't trust people. So that was slick. Oh, so this is what happened, TMA. After I got to telling you to contact me. Let me see if I can go back to this text. I shared it with some people that's on this chat.
Because they don't think we talk and they don't think we know each other. They just think we just associate through YouTube and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that was a mistake. So soon as I asked you to do that, I got this through a Instagram, and they used my wife's cousin's pictures and all that, which we don't talk, and y'all don't know how we talk down here in Texas. So listen to this and see if this makes sense. Okay, it said, talking about a grant, and let me see, where's this chick at? Here you go. It said, hey, who is this? Number one, the cousin that y'all use, she know who I am. And matter of fact, she a 99%, so she knows she can't start out with conversation like that with me. Okay, so I told her this KD. You know, I didn't have to say that, but I played along.
Right.
Oh, what's up? Just be fast on everything. So she trying to get me to talk to some dude named John Richardson, right? about a $200,000 grant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said she just got approved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, let me see what it said. It said, okay. So I can't, some way and somehow he was able to come on. Only my IT people know how he was able to come on. So it said, okay, she's the one of our grant beneficiary that won $200,000 recently. Are you ready to apply? A federal grant, 100% guaranteed. Right? Look, he said, how do you win a grant, TMH? He used the word won. How you won a grant? She won a grant. How do you win that? Is it a lottery? then I know you on the chat, so I'm directly talking to the dude that's on the chat or the woman that's on the chat. So then you turned around, said requirements, detail, which you should have used inquirement, right? Okay, so you said full name, full home address, which you don't want my home address, male or female, marital status, text your phone number to me, email, are you hearing or are you deaf, monthly income, and cell number, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need your response very quickly so that we can proceed. Federal government grant, 100% guaranteed. Ain't no grant I know is 100% guaranteed. So I'm gonna make y'all even more matter. Whoever is listening, yeah. So me. Oak Cliff, Ohio player.
Oh, they got the posse. Oh Lord, they got the posse.
We all sit up here, and guess what? We read this in somebody the way they speak. That's how we read it in. We broke it down to one person. Say tribe up, y'all listening? Tribe up, are y'all listening, fool?
Whoa.
So yeah, so we read that back in the way you would speak. So yeah, so we doing some big adventures, some big things down here. And Ohio player, you got that up north? Cause he on my team too now.
But Golden Moon, you know what it is? You said you gave yourself the answer. It's because we are actually doing something. That's the problem. We are actually doing something. That we're not asking our relatives to give us anything. We're not asking for donations. We're not asking for a penny. We are actually trying to build for our people. Not for me, not for TMH, not for no sellout of Gabby or James or anybody else in A2. We do this for the people. TMH said it multiple times. We volunteer so many hours a week to make sure that we can get the best that we can offer to our relatives every rising consistently. And if that's a problem for people, then they might as well jump out the window, because what we finna pull next, whew.
Yeah, I mean, why is they? I'm trying to figure out why is they worried about what's going on over here. So that was slick. We traced the landline back. It became dead. So now, if you would have, now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you this one. Now, if you would have emailed me, I would have had your address in a second.
Oh, you should have waited for an email.
You would have had your full name and everything. Now, then you'll be dealing with my people now. So I end up blocking these people, but I know it has to be somebody on this doggone chat.
Well, at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is, again, you have people that are not minding their business, they're minding our business. And because they're minding our business, they're not getting anything accomplished.
And they wasting their time with me because that's a dead end.
And again, you got to understand, when you don't know business, Your vernacular tells on you. The way you write tells on you. The way you speak tells on you. So you could say you're a businessman, you could say you're a business owner, but everything that you do doesn't say business.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. I mean, there's nobody I actually ever I told my testimony to, and there's a lot of other stuff that just happened, and I'm keeping that disclosed. So only people that I talk to on the phone on a daily knows this stuff that's going on. So personally, yeah, y'all need to watch what y'all put on this YouTube.
We got that feedback popping.
Okay, so yeah, we need to watch what we put on this YouTube. Yeah, so I guess they thought I was a new fool, but I'm an old fool. So while y'all was saying y'all was Shakina, my wife's cousin, she was on the phone with me. And she was like, KD, that's not me. I said, I know. We just played along with it. So yeah, it's a snake up in this chat. I don't know who you is, but you playing with the wrong people. Somebody got
Who is that? TMH, what did you sabotage?
Yeah, so I'm letting you know, it's somebody in this chat, whoever heard my testimony or whatever, because y'all think I need 200 grand to, we just that desperate. Anything we do in Texas, we're going to take our time and slow anyway. I mean, when you start talking fast, quick, hey, hurry up and do this, and then, nah, we don't do stuff like that. So, yeah, they watching. I don't know what they thought this was, but they came through Instagram. It came through Instagram. And I'm saying, so that means they might be in on my page and they know who I am. I know y'all see what I do, right? I do that real well. So there's no threats. There's not A2. There's KD saying this. They call me Moon. So, yeah, keep playing them games. Y'all ain't the only
You don't want to
people.
play around?
Got a bunch of IT people around me. And yes, they traced it back. They told me to block everything. And that's what I did. So, TMA, I wanted to talk to you about a new event that was going on. But I won't share it on the cab anymore. I think it's now for us time to transition over to our own pages. And then communicate the way we communicate, those who want to communicate. Because I'm communicating with just about everybody that wants to do something. So yeah, I'm gonna get off this. And another thing, I know people wondering, look, could y'all tell me what happened to LJ? Hello?
Yeah. Eat up and we'll tell you.
I've addressed it once, but again, LJ has some things that she had to take care of at home. So she couldn't dedicate the time that she needed to be on the cab. Because remember, she was on as we were on, and not only was she on during the day, but we, like Bone said, we invest a lot of time in the back chats, building, reading, and she was one of our primary readers, editors, and producers of content, and looking at things from a linguistic standpoint. So, you know, when you gotta take care of some things, sometimes you just gotta step back. So that's what she had to do. She had to step back and take care of some things at home, you know? So everything is good. She's just taking care of things at home, and once she gets everything straight, she'll be back. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully that helps.
like Golden Moon was saying, this is not a shock or surprise, and it shouldn't be to the relatives again. This should be, like I said yesterday, ending the reason to even lock down even more. Because if we wasn't doing something that can change it, if we didn't have the ability to make a difference, people wouldn't try to detread it. People wouldn't come and try to discredit it, slander it. But I let all relatives know, we do not have to get out of character. We do not have to change our focus. We keep moving forward and address it when it comes. Because we know what we're doing this for. And if anything, the ones that show up to distract, the ones that show up to try to pick our brains for public information, we should feel sorry for them. Because instead of them picking up the mantle to leave off on what your ancestors did, you rather pick up the mantle of the colonizer and do their bidding, knowingly or unknowingly. So I'm gonna tell them thank you. Keep doing it. Keep validating what we're doing. It's gonna get us to where we're trying to go. Keep validating that what we're doing today is a threat for these scammers tomorrow. Keep showing us that what we're doing have you so nervous that y'all willing to pull out all the scams and the tricks in the book. But I'm gonna tell you this, I don't care what you pull, who you get. This has already been written. We're just following through.
So, all right. Don't sell out. What you got for us before we get up out of here?
Not much. Happy Friday, everybody. The link's in the chat. Need to contact us. I believe you all know how by now. Numbers at the top of the screen. TonscienceAssembly@gmail.com. Check out the forum. Peace to the chat. Peace to the panel.
All right, Golden Moon, anything you want to talk to the chat about before we head on out? Then you can stay on. We can discuss what we need to discuss afterwards. But you got anything you want to say to the chat, to the silent majority?
I just say I just want to say I love my relatives. I love all y'all. Man, I mean, I get on here every day. It makes a difference. Like I said, it almost seems like we reliving what our ancestors went through. When you got foes or people who don't even know you want to come after you for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But I'm used to it. I'm built for it. So yeah, so just keep your heads up, keep moving. Let's keep this thing going. 2020, it's gonna be, man, it's gonna be a blessing or a blessing. Yeah, so that's all.
I appreciate that. Choctaw Jimmy, what you got for the good people before we head on out?
You guys are doing a great job. See, you guys are still on. That's all I have. I'm off the mic.
Really? That's what we doing? You dead serious? Oh man! All right, so I guess it's my turn. At the end of the day, it goes back to what we always say. Our ancestors, none of our ancestors are innocent. We all got dirt on our hands. And it's up to us as individuals to do what we're supposed to do, to correct it. Now, at the end of the day, people make mistakes. People do things they're not supposed to do, some unwillingly, some unknowingly. But at the end of the day, everybody has the right, and they should have the right, to correct their steps, atone, and move on. I don't have a problem with anybody that wants to atone and move on. What I do have a problem with is people that are scammers. And then you got those neutral people that want to hang with scammers. And I told you, I'm not rocking with scammers, and I'm not rocking with those that hang with scammers. Because basically what you're telling me is, if somebody's plotting something against me and the people that I'm helping, you're going to let it happen because they ain't got nothing to do with you. Which basically means I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, I don't need to be around you. So that's why I say, if you hanging with scammers, stay as far away from me as possible, because that makes it safer for everybody. And, you know, it is what it is. But that's what got our ancestors in the situation they're in now, trusting people that they shouldn't be trusting, hanging around people they shouldn't be hanging around, and dealing with people that they shouldn't be dealing with. That's what got us hemmed up. Just because somebody look like you, that don't mean they like you. And I mean that both ways as far as it's defined. So at the end of the day, you got to realize there are a lot of people on this channel that are not YouTube people. They are real people with real lives, and the communities that they serve, those people know them. So if you're not doing something in your community, that's your choice. Nobody can make you do anything in your community. But don't be trying to stop somebody from doing something in their community. Don't be trying to interfere because we're messing up your scam money. Like I've always said, all those that bang on their chest and talk this smack, y'all know my address. I don't know y'all's. And ain't none of y'all ever came to see me, and ain't none of y'all ever called. So why y'all banging on y'all chest in the back chats? Y'all know what y'all got to do. But y'all won't because y'all scared. So keep doing what y'all doing. Keep hiding. Keep talking smack. Keep sending y'all subliminal comments. Keep sending y'all trolls over, because at the end of the day, y'all won't ever step up to somebody for real because y'all scared. Y'all just hide behind what y'all hide behind. Which is the reason why y'all don't get anything done. And y'all have nothing to show for it. So keep doing what y'all doing, because the proof is in the pudding. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears. What fruit are you producing? If a tree doesn't produce any fruit, what good is a tree? So you could talk about this phantom fruit that you're producing, but if ain't nobody ever seen it, are you producing any fruit? I'm just saying. So don't get mad at us, because we doing stuff. And not only are we doing stuff, but there are a lot of people in the chat that are doing things. The silent majority are doing things. The new subscribers are doing things. So don't get mad because we're producing. And like we always say, this is not the only way. This is a way that we know that works. And if your way works, I wish you nothing but success. Nothing but success. So shout out to the new subscribers. Peace and blessings to the silent majority, because y'all are doing things, y'all are letting us know, and y'all are helping y'all communities. Y'all don't have to do a lot of talking. Y'all do the work. The best chat ever. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what to do. Keep us on our toes. Keep doing what you do. We are better for it. And to the panel, come on, man. I ain't got to say nothing. Y'all make my job easy. I love coming and doing what I do as a volunteer. Y'all make it fun. Texas Assembly, one of the best organizations I've ever been a part of. So just remember, we're here to help people find out who they are. We're not here to tell people who they are not, and we're not here to change your paradigm. We're here to expose you to the information as we learn and we uncover who we are, and hopefully we'll all get to the same destination. The truth. Because we're about getting it right. We're not about being right. There are no master teachers up here. We're all students and we're all learning. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bones H. McCoy, and I relinquish the mic.
All right. I'd like to thank TMH, No Sellout, Gabby, Doodoo Vision, Carrie Bay, LJ Free, Copper Indio, Danielle, and everyone that makes this possible. A2 is more than what you hear in the Rising. A2 is when all of us get together. Again, the gathering of the minds that do the work. The autonomous ones are gathering together to rebuild. And we should already knew. History shows us, every time we rise, there's others that try to move at the same time to stop us. But history should also teach us, we turn their noise down and turn ours up. History should also teach us, like I said earlier, when it start getting hot and you start seeing all the scammers coming out throwing their best shots and the slander and the sabotage come, that's when you smile. Cause you know we just getting warmed up. And they at their end. They're throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, and it does nothing. The moment we all consciously got together and decided that we were gonna build this for the people, we were told that it wasn't gonna work. We were told that we're wasting our time. We were told it would never happen. And 7 months later, what has happened? And it's not because of the panel or the board, it's because of the relatives. It is for you, and it is you who make this possible, who takes this information and pass it among their friends and loved ones and their communities and their selves. No one here has a gun to their head. This is all done by all of us coming together, realizing that there's something wrong and it needs to be fixed. That we're fed up and tired of excuses. We're tired of the same rhetoric that's been given to us for the last 300 years. And we're not gonna wait for no one to come fix it. We're gonna get up, walk out our doors, face the world, and fix our problems only like we can. So to the haters, the distractors, whatever we gonna label them or they wanna be called, keep on throwing your stones. The funniest part, they're not even reaching our ankles. So on that point, relatives, keep pushing through. Keep making them expose themselves. Keep putting in that work for yourselves and your family. Keep putting that work in for the next 7 generations. This is how we remove the unwanted, the dishonest, the untrustworthy. This is how we remove them, by standing up and doing what's right, by standing up and living on code. This is how they will get out of our way. So to the next Rising show, and don't forget, we will be moving to the website, and we will be having tests this weekend. So everyone, you should be getting the notifications in your emails. So to the next Rising show, or to the next time that we log on, everyone, peace.
Shout out to the Scam You Carpetbaggers and their lacrosse team.
Peace, y'all. Merchandise is now available.
Warning, warning, warning. Hard hats, pickaxe, shovels, boots required.